Jim Harbaugh will receive a contract extension at Michigan? I didn't see that coming. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I do videos every single day. It's either going to be college football or college basketball. This one is a college football video, and I have a P.O. box for y'all to send your unopened new merchandise for me to open up on my show and rep your team. You don't have to be a West Virginia fan. Late last year, 2020, around November, I was talking about the coaching carousel. I said Tom Herman will probably be fired and Jim Harbaugh might be fired as well. Well, Tom Herman was fired and Jim Harbaugh was extended. So I was right with Tom Herman and I was way wrong with Jim Harbaugh. Not only is he not fired, he's getting a contract extension, 5 years. Whenever I first saw this news, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Michigan is burying their program and setting it back at least 20 years. But then I started looking at what they're doing at Michigan for Jim Harbaugh. So right now, his contract, he's making $8 million a year, one of the highest paid coaches in college football. And if they were to fire him this year, it would be a $10 million buyout. That's a lot of money, and they would have to pay a new coaching staff, even more money during a COVID year. That would be rough, gotta admit. But Michigan doesn't look very good. Would it be worth it? Well, the University of Michigan has decided that wouldn't be worth it, but they do have a plan. They are extending Jim Harbaugh 5 years, but his contract goes from $8 million a year all the way down to $4 million a year with a much lower buyout. And it's incentivized. If you look at the overall picture, Jim Harbaugh has actually done well at Michigan. 49-22. That's really good. The problem is, no Big Ten championship and has not beaten Ohio State. And started 20-6, which was a very hot start, but recent years, 11-8. Cooled down significantly. Basically, what Michigan is telling us is they're keeping Jim Harbaugh, but on a very short leash. They're saying, if you can get Michigan back to where it was when you first got here, they were on fire in the first few years of Jim Harbaugh's coaching tenure. They said, if we can get back the old Jim Harbaugh, your salary will go back up. But we got to see it to believe it. So maybe this helps Michigan in the fact that it will light a fire up under Jim Harbaugh's rear end saying, hey, I got to get this shit back on track if I want to make the money that I was making. And if he doesn't, it's not that big of a penalty on Michigan because the buyout is significantly lower and Jim Harbaugh is making half of what he was making. Looking at the overall picture, this is not a bad move by Michigan, not at all. Having fired defensive coordinator Don Brown, Jim Harbaugh is looking at Mike McDonald. He's a linebacker coach for the Baltimore Ravens. Here's the thing though, they've actually taken a poll of their fans, Michigan fans, asking, hey, would you rather us keep Jim Harbaugh or would you rather us fire him and bring in, say, Matt Campbell from Iowa State? Well, as you can see, the fans would much prefer to get rid of Jim Harbaugh and bring in Matt Campbell. That's not a bad thing. All this could work in favor of Jim Harbaugh and Michigan. It could work psychologically like, oh man, I really got to get it done. I'm not guaranteed the money that I was guaranteed, but I can get back to that money if I bring Michigan back into Big Ten title contention, and that's a big deal. So having looked at the big picture, this is not a bad idea. This is actually a really good idea. It benefits Michigan because they're not paying Jim Harbaugh as much, in fact, half, and the buyout's not as much. But it also benefits Jim Harbaugh. Even though he's making half of what he was making, he can get back to $8 million if he can get Michigan winning, competing for Big Ten titles, and beat Ohio State. You gotta start beating Ohio State. You haven't done it, you gotta do it at least once. To me, this is more of a in good faith contract extension. We'll give you a chance, but your buyout's lower. But if you do what we know what you're capable of doing, like you did at the beginning of your tenure, your salary will go up. A risk reward scenario, and it really makes sense to me. I kind of like it. We'll see how it goes, though. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.